What of this drama screen at the LA Film Festival 2017 with And Then There Was Eve star Tanya? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I love your accent.
Cheers, cheers.
Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much.
Talk a bit about what makes this And Then There Was Eve a unique love story.
It's a unique love story because it's about second chances, really. But it's almost there's almost an opportunity in this story to start afresh from a new footing. I don't want to kind of give too much away.
No spoilers.
And I guess it asks that question, what changes internally when you think you've lost someone forever, and even if that relationship wasn't perfect, without flaws, how does that shift internally, I suppose, when you're given a second chance, when you thought that you thought that you'd never see them again.
Beautifully said. Now, I spoke with Rachel. She said that she taught you some blues or some music. Talk about that process.
Well, I've always wanted to sing, but never sort of been brave enough, I suppose. But I kind of have a bluesy voice, I suppose. And in this film, there is like a little 2-3 lines that say Alyssa and Eve Busk. And Savannah was like, I really want you guys to actually write that together. And that was kind of a bit daunting and scary for me. But Rachel, because she's got such a strong background in music, she's a musician, she had this little blues riff, I suppose you'd call it, that she wrote when she was 17. And we kept coming back to that one. And at that point, I didn't even know. I was like, so hold on, when do I sing at this point? Because it's like this it's not clear for me listening to it, like where you actually sing within that riff. And so we we were lucky enough to get a week-long rehearsal, which was so vital, I believe, because the film was one thing on paper, another thing when we shot it, and then a whole other thing when it was edited as well, which is always the case. But that huge jump, I think, between just the script on paper and where the story was meant to go originally, it's almost like we made a commitment, all three of us, to go, let's kind of discover this together and not force it in any way. And in a sense, we're leaving it more up to the audience to kind of, it's almost like a bit of a mirror, I think. However, maybe the question that I think our story asks may be answered by what the audience member might do if they were in Alyssa's situation or Eve's situation. But I'm sort of backtracking. I'm not really answering your question, am I? We were talking about busking. We're talking about music.
So
but anyway, within that process, we also, Savannah put us in a corner and said, hey, make up the song. And Rachel was amazing with helping me, kind of just guiding me as to what it is to sing the blues and what that means. Kind of like making a statement and then us answering it a little bit, and just how that works in the writing of it. And then wonderful singer-songwriter Kerry Hart, who's a good friend of Savannah's, helped me kind of finesse it to that next level and give me that confidence, because we had to shoot that actually, I think, day 2 up of the 19 days that we had. So it was quite early on.
So now that you're going to leave acting and go into music full time, right?
No, but it actually has always been a dream to me to sing. And funnily enough, I kind of just got the confidence to do it because it was Alyssa, not me, how that works.
No worries. You're beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, let me ask you this before we go. I want to ask, what do you hope the audience will take away from this story? Because the themes of it, what do you think?
I mean, I think...
Because I was watching it, I was like, okay, is she going to find the husband, or is she going to focus on this, Eve lady?
Yeah. I guess it's asking the question, are we in love with I guess, what is love, and what different forms can that love take? And it's not just as, I guess, I guess embracing all the grey that there is in life, you know, and I think so much of how we see relationships is very socially conditioned from day dot, depending on what your society kind of tells you. Like we're much more, you know, the whole saying, you like what you know and you know what you like.
Yes.
You know, so we are informed. And I can even say, like, when I moved, even from, because I'm from New Zealand, I moved from Christchurch to Wellington, and Wellington is a much more kind of melting pot of a city, much more open-minded. And then I, in turn, kind of through that became more open-minded. I mean, I was never not, but it just sort of, you know, enhanced that too. And same with LA, which is why this film is so, the LA Film Fest is such a great venue and festival for us, because it embraces diversity and all of that, and unique perspectives, I suppose, and celebrates that as opposed to. So I guess in this film too, we're kind of through a non, I guess, obvious way, we're getting people from all walks of life, depending whatever their sexuality, whatever their sexual orientation, whatever their gender may be. I think we're getting them to ask a question of, what would you do in this situation? And I think, yeah, it's an incredibly, well, I would like to think, I hope you guys tell me when you see it, a thought-provoking piece, because no matter where you are within that spectrum, I suppose, I'm sure there's someone you're going to relate to within this story. If that answers your question.
That does.
In a
Last
very
question.
roundabout way.
Last question. Do you go back and forth and do some New Zealand films as well over there? Or do you...
Yeah. Well, I've actually done mainly New Zealand television.
Yeah.
A few films scattered in there, and I just finished doing 6 months on an Australian show, my first Australian job there, so that was fun. But yeah, so I've been in LA for 6 years, but kind of back and forth working in New Zealand too. But this is my first feature here in which I've really had to kind of steer the ship, I suppose. So it was an amazing experience. It's the most challenging thing I've ever had to kind of jump into. So it was really rewarding.
Thank you.
Dream team to work with. So
Thank you for the opportunity. I'll come visit your place to check out the Hobbiton.
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Lily.